Ukrainian forces continued offensive actions near Bakhmut and in western Zaporizhzhia Oblast on 20 September, according to the US-based think tank Institute for the Study of War, ISDOI. The Ukrainian General Staff stated that Ukrainian forces continued offensive operations and inflicted significant losses on Russian manpower and equipment in the Melitopol. The Ukrainian General Staff also reported that Ukrainian forces continued offensive actions in the Bakhmut direction, consolidating in newly secured lines. The UK Ministry of Defence assessed that Ukrainian forces secured positions in Klishchiivka, 7 kilometers southwest of Bakhmut, and Andriivka, 10 kilometers southwest of Bakhmut, and that Russian redeployments of airborne VDV forces from Bakhmut to the Zaporizhzhia direction have weakened Russian defenses around Bakhmut. ISDO had previously observed elements of the 83rd Separate Air Assault Brigade operating in Zaporizhzhia, although it is unclear how large a proportion of that unit was redeployed from Bakhmut. Russia has lost more than 400 artillery systems in the past 2 weeks, Kiev's military has said, as the importance of artillery for both Russian and Ukrainian forces in the east and south of the country shows no signs of fading. Having pushed Russian troops out of this area, the Ukrainians gained control of the commanding heights, which made it easier for the Ukrainian artillery to target Russian forces in occupied Bakhmut between September 8 and September 21. Ukrainian Eastern Group of Forces spokesperson Captain Ilya Gevlash stated that Ukrainian forces are preparing defensive positions before Russian forces renew their assaults in the Kupiansk-Lyman direction. Ukraine continues attacking Russian military in occupied Crimea and conducted a sabotage attack on a Russian airbase near Moscow. Ukraine is on high alert as Russian strikes on the energy system loom, and Russia's railway defense near Bakhmut challenges further Ukrainian gains. Frontline report: Ukraine's advance in Zaporizhzhia's Verbov continues as its reserve placement creates dilemma for Russian defenses. By tactically placing reserve forces in the center of their Robotyne bridgehead, Ukrainian troops force overextended Russian defenses to spread thinly as they continue advancing on Verbov village, Zaporizhzhia Oblast. Ukraine credits stronger military capabilities for advances south of Bakhmut, ISDO. Ukrainian forces began to leverage superior coordination, reconnaissance, and electronic warfare systems, as seen during the village of Klishchiivka's Donetsk Oblast retake last week. ISDO: Zaporizhzhia Oblast sees spike in Russia's military losses amid Russian military redeployment issues. An ISDO report indicates a significant rise in Russian military casualties in Zaporizhzhia Oblast, suggesting potential challenges in the Russian military's capability to strategically redeploy its forces. Russia's railway defense near Bakhmut continues to challenge further Ukrainian gains. The Ukrainian armed forces have advanced near Bakhmut, capturing 2 significant villages. Russia's railway line defense, however, continues to serve as a major obstacle for Ukraine, according to British intelligence. Ukraine continued its counteroffensive on 3 different axes in the Zaporizhzhia Oblast on the southern front and in the Donetsk Oblast on the eastern front. Russia tried to distract Ukrainian forces with attacks near Kupiansk, Kharkiv Oblast, eastern Ukraine, Lyman, Donetsk Oblast, eastern Ukraine, Avdiivka, Donetsk Oblast, eastern Ukraine, and Mariinka, Donetsk Oblast. These are the only areas in Ukraine where the Russian army still goes on the offensive. Ukrainian forces are working on offensive operations around Melitopol and around the eastern city of Bakhmut, Ukraine's General Staff said on Thursday. Russia has controlled Bakhmut since May, but Ukraine has reclaimed 2 villages on the decimated city's southern flank in the past week. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Sunday Ukraine had taken control of the Donetsk village of Klishchiivka, just days after Ukrainian officials said they had recaptured nearby Andriivka. Artillery has always been a huge part of the war effort on both sides of the nearly 19-month-old conflict. The Ukrainian army made significant gains on the southern flank of Bakhmut, liberating 2 towns within 1 week. The Russian command threw its best forces into holding Klishchiivka and Andriivka, according to the Ukrainian war reporter Yuri Butusov. The flanks of the Russian 72nd Brigade, which defended Andriivka, were covered by the 85th and 57th Motorized Rifle Brigades and the 31st Air Assault Brigade of the Russian Army. Significant air forces and artillery supported the Russian grouping in Andriivka and its vicinities. According to the command of the Ukrainian 3rd Separate Assault Brigade, which liberated Andriivka, the Russian garrison of this town was surrounded, cut off from the main forces, and destroyed. Currently, Ukraine has a strategic initiative along almost the entire front line, stretching over 1,200 kilometers. On 17 September, Ukraine's armed forces liberated Klishchiivka in the Donetsk Oblast. The commander of Ukraine's ground forces, Colonel General Oleksandr Syrsky, reported. Klishchiivka is located 9 kilometers southwest of Bakhmut.